Hey, this is Gene Chesson, 24.5. My starting weight is going to be 197. Yeah, 197 for 24.5 RX Pro division. Really RX division. So 196 would be my attempt.
Fight somebody is because they want the discipline. And then I was talking about earlier with Tim, saying like, for people like us who are involved in martial arts or in shooting sports or in defensive training or in prepping for these survival situations, we take it like a pill. We take it like a vitamin. It's no different than any other nutrition or any other supplement that you might take to enhance whatever it is you want to do, which means we aren't at that highest level of Maslow's pyramid where you're delving into self-actualization like some detached celebrity out there that you can't, it's because we dose ourselves with survivability situations, which means we put ourselves in uncomfortable situations, or we put ourselves out in the wilderness, you're doing it now with a ranch where you're forcing yourself to raise livestock, where you're forcing yourself to dig wells, where you're prepping because you don't have to. You're going to pay the price if you don't, but you certainly don't have to. You have to decide that would do it. It's a choice. But part of you does it because you love the shepherd in that sense, meaning like you're keeping yourself sharp. Because I don't want to get, does this make sense? What I'm saying is like we take martial arts like we take a medicine because we put ourselves into physiological need state where somebody will choke you unconscious, right? We don't have to do it, but we do it because it keeps us from getting, we elected to do it so we don't get to the dangerous point where self-actualization is the only thing we seek. And because we know somewhere out on the horizon that may not be realistic. But maybe that guy that in that instance doesn't, he doesn't have any sense of that, and he can't live it outside his own self-actualization, whereas some people are equipped to. So I kind of agree and kind of disagree. I kind of agree that there are people like that you're not going to change. But there's probably people like that where like Tim said, where I can sit down and explain that and understand it.
I have almost no doubt you're right. If they've made it here, they can go the rest of the way.
But I think I've talked to people too in the past where other people might have said to them, you're not going to convince him. And I was like, mostly, I'd say it's probably because nobody ever took the time to explain it to him on his terms. So there are people that you could probably bring into the fold, talking to the term, but then you, like we were talking about those individuals earlier, like we are deciding whether or not they're worthy of being in our community, so we're kind of in selection phase ourselves. But there's probably more people that are more worthwhile, but it takes effort on our part to do it. And you're like, hey, is that effort I'm going to expend?
The rabbit hole of preparation, is endless.
Yeah.
It is which is really cool.
Oh, the other thing I was going to say about Matt Larson, that's to this point is, as soon as COVID hit, he made a post. He's like, I'm over at my brother's house. I think it was his brother, and he's making wagon wheels. He's teaching me how to make a wheel without rubber, basically, forge a straight up wagon wheel. And I immediately looked at the post and said, shit, I don't know how to make a wagon wheel. I gotta learn how to make a wagon wheel. I was like, holy crap, I was like, people are prepping on another level. Like, I was like sleeping like 10 sleeping bags, like that level food and all that stuff. I was like, this dude's out here learning how to make wagon wheels. I gotta get my shit together, I gotta learn how to do. So that was like when my eyes kind of opened and I said, yeah, man, people are really preparing in a way, like, what am I gonna do if there are any wheels on my cart, that kind of thing. So
the most basic from, let's say, 1930 to 1960, the development that happened in making our life simple. Now, from 1970 to current, no one knows how to do.
Yeah.
Nobody knows how to fix a motor.
Yeah.
Nobody knows how.
That's exactly what I thought when I saw it. I was like, yeah, no
all the
idea.
tacit knowledge of industrialization shifted to China in the last 4 years.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
And,
Right.
My second tip's going to be
that China or
207.
do is take away that technological advantage that we have, and we would be helpless.
For a short period, things would get very nasty.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Watching people in some of the places I've been to in the past couple of years take like Red Bull cans and trim the aluminum to make fins that they take the cardboard of the inside of the toilet paper that they put a grenade inside of and then slide the fins to attach that to a drone. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
And like, there'd be a really sharp learning curve, would lose a lot of people. But I worry that that curve is going to be too sharp. And that we would lose
Too sharp for what?
I don't know, for America to be America.
But I hate to say it, man. I think that ship's already sailed. Like, I think the America that we grew up with, I don't know when it died, how it died. I think it's gone, and I think that battle's been being waged for longer than I realized. When I woke up and realized it was on, I was like, oh shit.
Could you hear that?
Yeah.
Well, as you're talking,
Thunder.
huge thunder, Texas thunder
That's it.
in the background.
That would have been
It's
perfect
just like,
accent.
dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, that would have been the perfect
Yeah.
accent.
Yeah, I grieved for that. Like, it was the illusions I had, and but I'll tell you in a weird way, I'm actually sort of excited, not about that. I've accepted the reality that the America that we grew up with and that is gone. I actually think there's going to be some degree of chaos and spiciness coming that's unavoidable. It could be, not too bad, and it could be really, really bad. I think on the other side, there's a different and new America that can grow out of that. What it will
I agree with
look like, I don't know. Who knows, right?
Yeah.
But you get fat and happy and lazy, there comes a reckoning. You have enough debt, the bill is due, and the bill is due now in America.
Yeah.
On the far side of reality.
The paradigm's going to switch, but it's what will it switch to?
And how difficult is the transition?
That's true of all human history. I mean, they all.
It all runs like
you can go back and look at it and say it's and point to the points in history where there were giant massive switches. It's inevitable. I agree.
America went from republic to empire at some point, and the empire is in a phase of collapse.
Yeah.
How bad it collapsed, what it collapses to, what comes out of it are all very open questions. I'm with you. I'm trying to guide it. I'm trying to live in a certain way and help others live it that way and guide it a certain way.